The Chris Brown and Usher joint tour is, on paper, arguably one of the biggest R&B events of the decade. On one side, you have Breezy, without a doubt one of the most prolific performers of our generation. Singer, dancer, songwriter, actor, an absolute powerhouse. On the other side, you have Usher Raymond, a global icon with a catalog of timeless hits like Yeah, Lovin' This Club, and DJ's Got Us Falling in Love. And together, they're filling arenas for the Raymond and Brown tour. But between the bizarre onstage behavior and the unsettling timing of it all, this isn't just a victory lap for two music titans. There's a much bigger play happening here. PR damage, image rehabilitation, and strategic distancing from the dark underbelly of the music industry. To understand why this tour is happening now, we have to address the elephants in the room. By now, the public is well aware of the allegations surrounding P. Diddy and the infamous freak-offs. But Diddy didn't operate in a vacuum, and one of his longest-standing associates was Usher Raymond.
That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, that's how...
Usher literally lived with Diddy in New York starting at the ripe age of 13. Usher himself admitted in interviews that he was exposed to wild, sex-fueled party environments back then, and when asked if a 13-year-old should be in those environments, his exact words were, "Hell no."
Years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
So why, years later, did history repeat itself with Justin Bieber? When Usher gained a mentorship role over a 15-year-old Justin Bieber, he reintroduced him straight into Diddy's orbit. We've all seen the resurfaced footage. A young, visibly uncomfortable Bieber being pressured by Diddy to hang out and keep in touch.
You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But
we even had another video of Justin Bieber looking completely inebriated as he is at crotch level with Trey Songz and Odell Beckham Jr. I'll let you connect the dots on your own for this one. Why was a grown mogul so fixated on spending isolated time with a teenager? The power dynamics speaks for themselves.
And he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Usher knew what went on in those circles, yet he continued to act as a bridge between young talent and the industry's most toxic figures.
I don't want her to, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
Notice what happened as the legal walls began closing in on Diddy and his inner circle. A lot of key figures also went radio silent. Ashton Kutcher, Ellen DeGeneres, Trey Songz, a lot of them faded into the background in the hopes that we'd forget. But look at the timeline leading up to this tour. Chris Brown ran the massively successful Breezy Bowl tour through late 2025, dropped his latest project in mid-2026, and immediately transitioned onto the road again. Usher, on the other hand, had a massive gap. After pulling out of international dates in late 2025 without a clear explanation, he sat dark for months with no new album releases since early 2024. Chris Brown drops massive 30-track projects almost annually, whereas Usher is leaning entirely on legacy nostalgia with tracks like You Remind Me, Yeah, Lovin' This Club. But why team up now? These guys have not had a collaboration since Back to Sleep or New Flame, because nostalgia is the ultimate distraction. Pairing up with Chris Brown, another artist whose career has survived endless controversy, allows Usher to hijack high-energy stadium hype and sanitize his image. Even the live performances themselves feel calculated to push boundaries. The hypersexualized stage antics, licking sweat off fans, simulated acts on stage aren't just entertainment. They create an environment where boundary pushing is normalized under the guise of artistry. Like, why do you need to be doing all of this? If this is what they're comfortable doing on stage in front of 20,000 people and hundreds of iPhones, what is happening backstage? When you look at the industry, there's a clear divide between the artists focused on the craft and superstars obsessed with maintaining uninhibited power. Why don't guys like Akon, Neo, or Frank Ocean end up wrapped up in these specific press nightmares? Because they aren't playing the same dark games in the same dark circles. To wrap up, look, I'm a fan of the music. I've listened to Breezy and Usher for years. But there comes a point where we ask ourselves, when do we stop separating the art from the artist? Because right now, this tour feels less like a celebration of R&B history and more like a high-budget nostalgia distraction. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Like and subscribe for more, and catch you on the next one. Bye.